program. Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas is one of the lawmakers who introduced the bill. He's also a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, and he joins us from Capitol Hill. Good morning, Senator. Let me start with your immigration bill. Can it get 60 votes, which is the threshold there in the Senate?
I hope so, John. We'll see when we have votes in the Senate this week. As you know, it's somewhat unusual to have this freewheeling process. Lots of senators say they want it. Of course, now that it's here, some senators are a little nervous about it. But here's what I do know about our bill. It's the one bill that can become law. We shouldn't be focused on passing a bill out of the Senate. We should be focused on passing a law, something that can get the majority vote of the House and that President Trump is willing to sign. And this framework legislation is both generous. As you say, it gives legal status and ultimately citizenship to almost 2 million young illegal immigrants who were brought here through no fault of their own, but it deals with the negative side effects of that as well. It helps secure our southern border, and it ends the practice of extended family chain migration. I think that's a sensible and coherent package, and I hope we can get 60 votes.
But you can't get any Democratic votes for your bill to get it out of the Senate. So you're focused on passing a law, but it's not going to get out of the Senate, which means it won't be a law.
Well, John, we won't know until we put it on the floor and we have those votes.
But there are other bills that could get 60 votes, aren't there?
I'm doubtful that those bills can get 60 votes, in part because many senators know that those bills can't pass through the House of Representatives and that the president will veto them. Again, if we're focused on what we can actually turn into a law, what will solve the problem, give legal protections for these young illegal immigrants, but also secure our border and end the practice of extended family chain migration, the president's framework bill is the one bill that can do that.
Senator, let me ask you about how some of our nation's most important secrets are being handled at the White House. The president's former staff secretary, do you know what type of security clearance he had?
I do not. I understand from the media reports that it was an interim clearance. These background checks can take some time, especially if there's any red flags raised and the FBI has to go through that. You generally wait until the FBI reaches a final adjudication before making a decision. But ultimately, background or security clearances should not be interim. They should be permanent.
Let me ask you this. According to a former National Security Council staffer, and if an employee receives an interim security clearance, they cannot be given a special sensitive job. That requires a whole different level of clearance. Top secret, special compartmentalized information, or top secret code word. The fact that Rob Porter did not have that special clearance and yet handled the nation's top secrets every single day, almost every hour. Did the White House mishandle our top secrets?
I'm not familiar with all of the details of the security clearance process that Mr. Porter went through or his background check. What I will say is this, like President Trump, I have 100% confidence in General Kelly in conducting this job and making sure that the White House is run in an effective fashion.
But are you concerned that some of the officials in the White House that don't have security clearance, like Jared Kushner, for instance, are dealing with some of the top secret materials? Does that concern you? Is that okay with you?
Well, again, as I say, I'm not familiar with the background checks for all of these individuals or where they stand.
But Senator, we're not talking about the background checks. We're asking, are you okay with that process? Let's just stick with that for a second. Are you okay with that process?
Ultimately, it's the decision that the president makes based on the FBI's final adjudications of these matters. And the FBI can take time. And especially in the first year of a new administration, it takes a lot of time to go through these background checks.
CBS and other organizations are reporting that the FBI handed over their background check on Rob Porter this summer. It was at least 8 months ago. The White House has known about these domestic abuse allegations. Did it turn a blind eye?
It's my understanding the White House did not know about all the details. They did understand that there were some delays in that individual background check, as others as well. But in general, when these background checks are ongoing, you don't go get every new allegation that's been made during the research. You wait until the FBI presents the final package to you to make that kind of determination. That's why I say I have 100% confidence in General Kelly, as President Trump has said he has in General Kelly as well.
Some of the Democrats are calling for an investigation into this matter. Do you think that's necessary?
I haven't heard for those calls. I think it's always important, though, that we make sure that the FBI is operating in an effective manner, that it's getting its work done expeditiously, and that our nation's classified information is being handled in the appropriate fashion.
I know you have a hearing today at the Senate Intelligence Committee on some of the global threats that are out there. You'll get a chance to question the director of intelligence, the head of the FBI and CIA. What are you hoping to learn? What's your biggest concern?
We've heard a lot of reports from our senior military commanders over the last couple of weeks on the Armed Services Committee, as well as in the National Defense Strategy, that they think that the greatest threats we face are now, once again, great power competition like Russia and China. Terrorism remains a serious threat, but we're beginning to move our military back towards a posture whether it's ready to confront Chinese and Russian threats. I want to talk in particular with our intelligence agencies head about how they see those threats and what they're doing with their agencies to counteract those threats.
All right, Senator Cotton, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be watching.
Thank you.